What do you think of the new Moster Factory R by Vitarazi Engines? Welcome back to the first episode of my YouTube channel in quite a while. There's been a whole lot going on in my life, just Christmas, travel, all this stuff, and I honestly didn't really have the time to make videos, but I'm back, and today I want to do a review video. I'm really excited because I haven't actually done a review video. Today we're doing a review of the Vitarazi Motors Moster Factory R Lightning Edition. So, Vitarazi Moster 185, what is it? If you don't know, the Vitarazi Moster 185 is pretty much the de facto paramotor engine these days, almost everywhere. Pretty much every major paramotor frame manufacturer offers some option of the Vitarazi Moster 185, and it's for a few reasons. One, it's been around a while. It's a proven platform. Two, it's fairly reliable, I'd say. It's got its quirks with the exhaust cracking issues on previous generations, but overall they've been pretty reliable. Three, they're pretty lightweight for the amount of power they're putting out. They make a good amount of power for most pilots. It's not an insane amount, it's not enough. It's just about in the middle for most people. Now, this is my personal Scout, and it has a Vitarazi Moster 185, I believe model year 18. It's pretty much the Toyota Corolla of paramotor engines. I think it has over 300 hours on at this point, and it honestly starts on the first pole almost every time if I get the priming right. In the past, I was flying a top 80 engine, and then I was also flying an Atom 80 engine, and going from those two 80cc's to this 185, the difference in power is huge. This here is slightly different. This guy right here is the new Vitarazi Motors Moster Factory 185R, a handmade CNC machined, one-of-a-kind carbon fiber airboxed chrome exhaust having shorter silencer wearing masterpiece of an engine. And that's what we're going to be reviewing today. Let's talk about the key differences between the normal Moster 185 Plus and the new Moster 185 Factory R Edition. Now, if you go on the website, you're gonna see a lot of fancy words and this motor is filled with passion and that kind of stuff, and I'm not really about that, but I will say, on paper, the engine makes 2 more horsepower. So the normal Moster 185 makes 25 horsepower, whereas the new one will make 27. Additionally, a lot of the components on the normal Moster that are sand cast out of aluminum are CNC machined, such as the actual crankcase and the connecting rod. From what it sounds like, it seems like they've just taken the normal Moster and made it with a lot higher tolerances so it can possibly run at a higher RPM, and maybe it's ported differently to create a little bit more power. I think that the engine is also slightly lighter, but it wasn't an amount of weight that you would probably notice on your back. I think it was less than 1 kilogram, so there's that. Interestingly, when looking at the thrust output figures from Vitarazi, all of the thrust output figures from the Moster Factory R are from a 140 centimeter prop. Now, if you don't know, a bigger prop generally will give you more thrust based on the same engine just because of efficiency. A longer prop is inherently more efficient. So I will be flying this, unfortunately, with a 130 centimeter prop for the review. However, I did fly it earlier with a 140 prop from a Shrike, and it made a lot of power. Unfortunately, the largest drawback to this engine, in my opinion, is the actual price. A New Moster 185 Plus costs $2,779.99. The Factory R costs $4,249.99 in the US. So that is a huge gap, and the biggest deciding factor and question I have personally is this engine worth almost $2,000 more than the normal Moster? Looking at the engine itself, it's clear that a lot has been changed, but a lot also is the same. Obviously, the first thing you'll notice is the red crankcase as well as the chrome exhaust. Normally on the standard Moster, those items are black. Additionally, under further inspection, you'll find a couple carbon fiber parts where they used to be metal, namely the exhaust bracket and the exhaust silencer clamp. The silencer itself seems to be about 2 inches shorter, which I think is contributing to the slightly different exhaust note. It's more of a graphite-y, shiny sound. Things that look very similar on the engine include the cylinder, which I'm sure has different porting and stuff inside that you can't see from the outside. The cylinder head looks the same. The carburetor looks very similar to the normal Moster, as well as all of the starter mechanisms. Now really all we have left to do is wait until the weather gets good. It is time to fly the new Moster Factory R by Vitarazi Engines. I have stolen this sick, awesome helmet that will do live comm, vlogging, and enlisted the help of my lovely girlfriend Jillian to film me from the ground while I fly this. So, off to you. All right, we're gonna go lay the wing out. Gonna go get the fan part. Okay. Clear prop. Yeah, it sounds a little bit different. All right, got the wing over there. Got the old Moster Factory R. Actually, it's not old at all. It's brand new. Purring away like a kitten on my back. Winds are favorable. It's a little bit early. It's probably going to be somewhat bumpy. Gotta say, this thing is markedly louder than the old or the normal Moster, which may be a product of the silencer, the prop, or both. Brake, clear, free and correct. A, brake 2, free and correct. Do hickles. All right, let's give it a little full power run up, and we'll go for it. 3, 2, 1. Ooh. To the races on the new Vitarazi Moster Factory R. R stands for race and raunchy. Right off the bat, the first thing you'll notice is this engine just runs like insanely smooth. I don't know if it's how they've tuned the carburetor or the prop, but there's no real mid-range vibrations. And at full power, the engine doesn't sound taxed at all. It sounds like it wants to run. And, I don't know if you guys can see that, we're freaking climbing like a rocket up here. Just blasting away. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to throw like one barrel roll, I think. And then we'll fly by Jillian a couple times. In flight, it just feels luxurious. It's very smooth. But I will say, I don't like this prop. Look. She is not responsive. It feels like a 2x4 back there. Alright, left, right, and then big left. Fat chunky barrel roll. Fat chunky barrel roll. Definitely more power through the maneuvers. You can really feel that thing
shove you. I feel like the prop right now is the limiting factor for this engine. Because once you get some airspeed, it just feels like there's a lot more there. Oot! Alright, let's do a little flyby of Jillian. Hot sucker, I stole your motor! What do you say of that? Hello? How do I use constituents in a sentence? Alright, let's do a little flyby of Jillian. Hauling balls downwind like an idiot. And full power. Oh yeah, look at that freaking climb rate, dude. That's insane. I have to say, on the first flight with this thing, I was not terribly impressed with the performance, but now doing another back-to-back, she really has some additional beef, if that's the right word. Additional heft. Let's do some slalom turns. There's people in the parking lot bugging out right now. Yeah, it just feels so not taxed, if that makes sense. It just feels like it wants to go. Other in-flight impressions, it certainly is still a Moster. If you are a fan of Moster engines, you will certainly like this one. This is kind of the best of the best. A couple days ago, we flew it, like I said, with a bigger prop. And that was when this thing, I feel like, really came alive. The bigger prop seemed to have better spool up while providing, like, insane power. I also recently had the chance to fly a Polini Thor 202, which has even more power than this. But I would say that this and the Polini Thor 202 with a 130 centimeter prop were very comparable. This having the 140. All right, here we go for the swoop-a-doop. All right, a little bit of left, and then a big right. Pulling her at the ground. And pressure. Oh shit, there's no wind. Shitty touch and go.
What do you think of the engine?
It flies really good, and it's smooth, and it has power, but it's not $2,000 more of power. But it's a collector's item. Rare. Okay guys, I am back here at the desk now for some concluding thoughts on the Moster Factory R after a recent test flight. So, let's talk how it runs, objectively, forgetting the price and everything. It runs amazing. It's super smooth. The engine doesn't feel like it's taxed at all. It feels like it's built to run at all of these RPMs, even at full throttle. It just feels like it's running really smooth and strong. The exhaust note is slightly chimier on the ground. I don't think it sounds that much different in flight though. However, it is loud. You probably see that on the ground clips, but the thing has a lot of noise. And part of that's due to the Scout, but it is a louder engine. If having a quiet engine is valuable to you, this is not it. Additionally, the prop that was on it, I'm not a huge fan of it. It's rusty, but the spool up is just really slow and you feel it. When you expect power to come on, it comes on about a half second later, which doesn't sound like a lot, but in practice, you're like, come on, let's get some power. Obviously, climb rate is amazing. You're distracting me! Cute. Let's talk negatives. The biggest con I see of this engine is the actual price. I obviously dig the looks. I wish the exhaust wasn't chrome, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. I really like the looks. I really like the performance, but unfortunately, I feel like even with both of those factors, engine isn't quite worth the asking price of $4,250 when you can get a stock Moster for $2,700, probably like $25 on sale. Final concluding thoughts, should you buy a Moster Factory R? And the answer is maybe. It really depends on what you're after. If you're just a weekend flyer, if you're not doing anything insane, then the normal Moster is going to be more than adequate for you. It's going to be plenty reliable, give you tons of power, and you're going to be super happy with it. However, if you're one of those people who just wants to have the absolute best of the best, doesn't care about the budget, just wants to have like the smoothest, best running engine, I would really suggest that you give the Moster Factory R a shot. It is by far the best running paramotor engine I have ever flown. It's just like a sewing machine, rips. Okay, hope you liked my first video back about the Paramotor with the new engine. Until the next one. Thank you for filming.
You're welcome.
Oh, it's gonna be the best vlog ever.
Yeah, just using up his SD space for useless videos.
I've been singing.
What's the matter, puppy?
You want to go? Hold on.